Hey everyone, it's me, the E-Bike Cowboy, and for today's video, we're going to be talking about tire setups for your Surron. So, let's get to it. The first setup we have here is the standard Surron 1919 setup. On this set, we have Shinko 244s on them. I would say for the standard 1919, it's fine. It's like nothing really to talk home about. It's just like the standard Surron feel. I would say though, because of the 19-inch tire in the rear, it kind of makes you have a stink bug effect where it's like makes you like high in the back and it makes you slide forward towards the battery box. It's fine. It's not really the most comfortable to me. So that's that done.
Hello, this is MX Electric. So let's talk about the 19-inch wheel sets. You have a couple options, like you can go with Shinkos, so 244, 241s, work good on the street, good in hard pack areas of dirt. The only thing I don't like about 244s on the front is they don't do good in sand. So they get real iffy when you start hitting softer dirt, sand. As long as you don't have to ride much in sand, you're gonna like them because you can go in harder packed dirt roads, street, trails. It's gonna work good. They wear really good. 241's another option if you're doing more street than dirt. Or you can go with an MX style tire. This is a 7119. This is a Bridgestone. And you can always run the same tire front and back. The Bridgestone Starcross 5 works good. It's got a little lower sidewall. Even though it says it's the same size, the height of the tire is different. It is, because I've had to change them both and run them. So if you want your bike to be a little lower, this would be a good tire. The other one that's good, a Bridgestone M203 or a Dunlop MX33, those are just good all-around tires. Shane runs, he's got the M203 on the front of his, and then I run the MX33 on both of mine. Where if you're gonna do some serious trail riding, not much on the street, you can just run this. You'll use the same size, front and back. That's probably your cheapest option.
And right here, we have an 1821 setup. Now, this is really fun for the Surron. It gives it more capability of going into softer sand and not falling over. That sometimes can be a problem with if you have smaller wheels. It's like you can't dig your way out of the sand, you just tip over. But with an 1821 setup, you just go through sand like no problem. This is really great. The only thing with an 1821 setup is that the bike definitely loses a lot of its nimbility, and it's not as easy to throw it around or turn sharp corners or anything. It just feels more like it wants to go into a straight line.
Well, 1821 is gonna really work good for you if you've got more power or, with bigger batteries because you're putting more weight on your front end. The other thing, it works better for going down real rough roads. So if you're riding in a lot of spots with a lot of potholes, cracks in the street, and you're just getting a real rough ride with stock suspension, that will give you, a better ride. There's, no doubt about it. The limiting factor is back tires for 18-inch wheels. You same Shinkos, 241 or 244s. You can either run 300 18s or 350 18s. The 350s get real close to the swing arm. There's only two more MX style tires you can use. And that is Dunlop makes a 90-100 18. That's the only size that'll fit without grinding off these side knobbies. So they have it in either an MX33 or a I think it's a K990. And so you can run those, but they're real close to the chain and the swing arm. The only other thing that is kind of nice is once you get all that momentum rolling with the bigger wheels, they tend to have more momentum. But you're going to lose acceleration at the start because you're moving now all that extra weight. If you definitely want to go with 1821, but you want to try to stay as light as possible, the Warp 9 wheels are lighter. The hubs are a little smaller. The wheels are lighter. If you're heavier, you've got more power, So say you have your BAC 4000 and a 72 volt battery and you're going really hard, then these are like Excel wheels with charged CycleWorks hubs, and they have stainless steel Buchanan spokes, so they're going to be able to handle a lot of abuse. Front tires, you can run about anything. MX-33s run good. The Bridgestone Starcross 5s work good. I always like that Bridgestone M59. That's a little heavier tire. All of those will work good. But there's one other thing. If you're riding your stock bike and it feels like it's nose down, that stink bug effect like they all have, and when you're riding, it just feels like the front end is skipping out from you and it just doesn't seem to handle or steer good, you can go with just run a 21-inch front tire, leave your stock 19 with a Shinko or something like that, and that definitely makes it handle better. You're going to lose a little bit of snap off the throttle because the 21-inch is heavier. But I ran that for quite a while, and it worked pretty good. It made my bike handle really nice with the stock suspension and everything. So that's kind of what you can do. You're going to gain some momentum going down the street, but you're going to lose acceleration. It's going to ride a little smoother, but you don't have near the tire choice. So that's, I've even run a 21-inch front with a 16-inch rear just to see how it worked. With a bigger battery, it worked all right. It was surprisingly good. With a stock, battery, there's not enough weight on the front, and the front end just wanders all over. So, it's not even worth trying that. One thing to mention, there are a couple different size 21-inch tires that you can use. You can run, here's the Dunlop K990, and it's a 21-inch, but it's a low profile. So it's a 7100 21, and opposed to the normal size that is an 80-121. I tried this, and I couldn't tell any difference in the front end over a 19-inch. It didn't seem to stick. Yes, it's a little lighter, but it didn't have a good bite to it. So, if you were going to run a tire like this on the 21, other than it being lighter, I don't see that you really get any benefit other than it rides a little smoother over a 19-inch. So you're better to stick with the 80-121 if you're going to run a 21-inch, because it handles a lot better.
One we've got here, the 1619 setup. This is my personal setup because it gives the bike a sense of nimbleness in the back. And I can corner really good on my bike. It runs the 1619 setup and it works very efficiently. And it just corners so nice and well, better than the other two setups. And there's tons of tire options for it, which MX Electric will give you details on.
1916 is the best part about it is it keeps your bike closer to the ground where the 1821 jacks it up in the air. But it's the tire selection. There's so many good tires available because basically you're running like a tire set like a Super Mini would. These ones are Charged CycleWorks with XL rims. Shane's running the Bridgestone M203, good front tire, seems to work good. We can go from blow sand powder to harder clay to more gravelly dirt, and then, crazy rough asphalt. On the back, we run these two. We run a Shinko 244. 241 works pretty good, but these are a little better if you got to go into the dirt. Like I said, I don't really like them on the front, but on the back, they wear really good as you got to go down the street. We tend to run these MX tires. On both of mine, I run MX-33s, and but there's plenty of other. There's Pirellis, the Starcross. There's a lot of different ones to choose from. On the back if you're going to be riding off-road and you don't have the money or the time to upgrade your power, say you want to just put a sprocket on it, a 54 tooth works really good, then here's a couple of tires that work really good that are knobby tires, but here I'll show you the difference. This is a Kenda Classic, a 316. Works really good on these. And then another tire that's really good, this is what I'm running on the back of mine, and I've got a 72 volt, I'm running 13K power. This is a neat tire. This is a Bridgestone M22. This used to be the gold standard that if you raced on Blue Groove, hard pack, on tracks like Carlsbad or, from way back, this is what even the factory riders would run in for second motos because they grip really good. They wear decent on the asphalt, but they're just a nice tire and they're not that much. They're about the same price as what a Shinko 244 will run. So if you want a knobby tire, and you want to have the power to pull them, because if you run, here's a Shinko 525. Now it's a little taller and it's got these really tall knobs. With stock power, it just takes all your acceleration. You lose so much because the tire isn't a lot heavier, but just those big knobs, it doesn't work good. Now, when you go to more power, this is the regular 525, works really good, and it works good on the asphalt. I've ridden this on the asphalt a lot, and it hasn't hardly done anything. If you're riding strictly in dirt, you can go with the 525 cheater, and that's got softer knobs, but they're going to burn off quick on the asphalt. But this kind of, gives you a choice along with your Shinko 244s and 241s. That is the main reason why I went back to 1619 is the tire selection. And when I went with a heavier 72 volt battery, it put more weight, and I'm running the Fast Ace, which they have a steeper angle than the KKEs. And when I put the bigger, heavier battery on, it gripped better. It just worked better with the 19. So the 19 and the 21 were really close up front. And so I'd rather go with the 19 because it's a little lighter, and like we've all said, your tire selection is so much better. So since we do a lot more street riding on these two, we have the Shinko 244s, but this used to be Shane's old setup, the Kenda Classic. Excellent tire. And his bike has always handled really good. He's running the Warp 9 3/4 inch lift arm. On mine, I run a standard prickly, the standard length, and that drops the back end down. And because I like my bike to glide a little bit, so when I hit softer dirt, it doesn't dig in. And it lets the back end sit down a little lower. It's whichever you want. You can run the 3/4 lift, or you can run the other one, like I do, and that's going to even lower it. So if you want your bike lower, you can run the standard prickly because Warp 9 doesn't have a standard length arm. Well, that's about it. That's what we've found, and you've seen, we've tested and rode a lot with these different wheels, and I learned a lot from back when I raced motocross. Two things that can really change the way your bike works and how you feel on the bike: tires and handlebars can take a bike that just does not feel good at all and transform it, and it doesn't cost you a lot of money. So, well, that's our opinion, and if you have any questions, please let us know, and we'll try to respond. Thank you.
So we wanted to do this for you guys because we've listened to a bunch of advice from other e-bike YouTubers like Charge Cycle Works, and we wanted to show that we've tried a bunch of tires out, tried all the basics, that we tried all the major setups for these, and we just wanted to help you out, Now, if you have anything to take away, like what setup would be right for you, I definitely recommend the 1916. I definitely recommend the 1619 setup. Like MX Electric said, there's a huge variety of tires you can get for these. They work good in the dirt. You can also use it for the street. I have this setup here where I run like an MX tire here, like MX33 or any one of those styles, and a Shinko 244 works really good in both street and dirt. And even if you don't have enough money to get like the setup right away, you can always just like buy one rim at first, and you can still run your 19-inch front tire, and that will work for you. And another cool thing to do is that you can get different color rims for your bikes. Like on mine, I have these blue rims here. On MX Electric's silver one, he has gold rims, and on his black one, he has these neat red ones. They're a nice way to customize and to individualize your bikes. Well, after all that, I think that's about it. So, I'll see you later, my amigos.